Excuse me, sir, is this the Delta House?
Sure. Come on in.
They have cold beer and action on the game.
I'm shocked to find that gambling is going on in here.
It's time for the Degenerates Next Door.
Dollar bills, y'all.
We are back, powered by StatFactory.io. Love that place. Your one-stop shop for all NFL statistics, side-by-side comparisons. Coming soon, college football, college basketball. The NBA's up there right now. It's only $15 a month. And Rob, there's a free trial going on right now.
Yeah, let's talk about Stat Factory for a second. StatFactory.io. If you are at all into sports betting, you get a 7-day free trial. So there's no risk. If you don't like it after 7 days, say this isn't for me, I'm moving on. Now, if you do like it and want to stay with it, which we think you will, use the promo code Degenerates to save you some cash on that on your membership. But here's the thing about StatFactory.io. It's all about data. Right? It gives you all of the data on all of these NFL games, and they got the NBA up there now as well, that you're going to need to make educated picks. And when I talk about data, hours and hours and hours. Anything I think you could possibly want, they're going to have there. And here's the thing I love about it. And I would have a subscription to StatFactory.io for nothing else but this. They take all of the major betting houses, and they put the lines in that change as they change in real time right there on the website. So one of the things I've always had to do with this show is find out where's the best line. Where is DraftKings better than FanDuel?
Because we're not wed to a single sports book here.
That's correct. And part of this is in one, literally, you click a link, there's the odds, 20 seconds, the time that alone, even if you didn't want any of the rest of the data, the time that will save you, not having to go to all these websites to find the best odds, StatFactory.io.
And again, when you say your subscription, it's only $15 a month. I bet more on MAC football games on weeknights than that whole month subscription. And it's so worth it. Again, sign up for your free subscription right now. It's a soft rollout, okay? They're still working on adding some things, but the NFL is there. The NBA is there. And coming soon, the AI chick that's hot with the big cans is going to be there, so you can put all the data that you're thinking about making a bet on into the AI chick, and she will give a perspective from AI based on what you're looking to accomplish.
Yeah, and support these guys because they're supporting us. One of the reasons they came out with the soft rollout, a little bit ahead of maybe in an ideal world, was so that they could support us faster. They wanted to be supporting us during the NFL season. They like what we do. They like this show. In the case of our buddy Chad, who was on the program, he's a big-time bettor, and he likes our program. So really, you're supporting us. And again, you got nothing to lose. It's a 7-day free trial. If you don't like it, no hassle, no obligation. You just cancel, and you go on your merry way. But you're going to like it if for no other reason. I bet it saved me 30 minutes last night, Hammer, putting the show together just on the lines, having it all right there in one place.
So StatFactory.io is our sponsor. Thank you to those guys. All right, let's get down to brass tacks, Rob. I've got action tonight.
Yeah!
I want action tonight. Satisfaction all night.
We have got the Rams at the 49ers. And again, the best line that I found, thanks to Stat Factory, is the 49ers minus 2.5. The over-under sitting at around 48.5. Now, look, recency bias exists. The last time we saw the Rams, they were putting it on Josh Allen and the Bills.
That's right.
Good win for the Rams. Now, the Bills almost came back in that game, but the Rams' offense was cooking. That was a big, emotional win, physical game there. And the Rams have won 2 in a row against the 49ers. And it looks like there's a little discrepancy in the betting market here. A lot of the tickets are on the Rams. So the public is on the Rams. But the big money is on the 49ers. The sharps are on the 49ers. Follow the money. Fade the public and always follow the money. So if all these tickets are coming in on the Rams, and this point spread is still 2.5, you can find it 3 other places. which is basically what it opened up at, what does that tell you? It tells you that the big money being on the 49ers, those folks know something. And when you break down the information, again, using some of the stats that I found from statfactory.io, the 49ers averaging about 3 more points per home game than on the road. You've got the Rams scoring 2 points less on the road than they do at home. And man, I just can't see the 49ers losing 3 straight to the Rams. I know they're banged up. I know the 49ers are, limping a little bit with all the injuries, but that Rams defense is not any good. That Rams defense stinks, and they're going on the road. It's a short week after an emotional game. I'm going to lay 2.5 with the San Francisco 49ers tonight. Give me the Niners. Now, prop bet-wise, I think the Niners are going to win. I hate the Rams defense. So we're looking at Brock Purdy. There's no Christian McCaffrey. He's not running out of that tunnel. So I think he's going to throw the ball. Over 29.5 passing attempts. This is a number I found at Bet Rivers. Over 29.5 passing attempts for Brock Purdy tonight. And then, because I always like to have somebody on the field to root for, Rob, Puka Nacua.
Who?
Rams receiver Puka Nacua. You can get plus money on an anytime touchdown. And this is probably the go-to receiver for Matt Stafford. If it's not Cooper Kupp, it's Puka Nacua. Seems like Puka is the new Cooper. And I am going to go with an anytime touchdown, Nacua plus 110. That's plus money. So those are our plays for tonight. Now, Rob, I turn to you. Sunday night football. If you've been waiting all day for Sunday night, the Packers, they are 3-point road favorites at Seattle. Tough place to play. Over under around 45.5.
So, found at statfactory.io, the Seahawks have a point differential of +9 in their last 3 games. Here's what it comes down to for me. The Packers defense has some holes, especially in the pass game. They're only 21st in the NFL, giving up 222 yards per game. Geno Smith is throwing for 249 yards per game. Packers have lost their last 4 games at Seattle. The Seahawks have won 4 in a row, so they're playing with a lot of confidence. Packers are good. Definitely probably got the better quarterback in Jordan Love. But are you getting 3 at home? I'll take the Seahawks getting the 3.
All right, let's check in with our professional who has been a big, hairy, American winning machine. His win-loss record for the NFL this year, it's Bezos level. If you've been taking every one of this man's bets, you'd be hanging out with Bezos on the yachts. Kenny Britt of KB Sports joins us. KB, what's up, brother?
Hey, how we doing, guys? So thanks for having me. Yeah, pretty good weekend last weekend in the NFL. I swept the board at 6-0.
6-0, man, that's a big deal.
6-0 is a big deal. Hell, 4-2 is a big deal. A winning record's a big deal. So
right.
Let's just be
honest. Before we dive into your official play of the week, where are we at with Bill Belichick going back to North Carolina to be the head coach here? Now, I got to be honest, Kenny, when I first heard he was going back to college and North Carolina, I thought, why? What the hell? Is this going to help his girlfriend get some credit hours or something? I don't know. But when he went on the McAfee show and he laid out everything he wants to do in terms of making that a pipeline to the NFL, talking about how they're going to have a diet plan, they're going to have a study plan, they're going to use every reference that he's got over his many years in the NFL to get these kids into the league, I thought, you know what? All right, hot damn, I think I'm in.
Yeah, I think it's one of the high-risk, high-reward situations. I think it's going to be either extremely successful or a dumpster fire, to be honest. This is a young man's game now with NIL and everything. But on the same hand, it's almost like, college football now is basically pro football. There's money everywhere. Everybody's getting paid. They don't go to class. So, gun to my head, I think he'll be successful at it. Honestly.
And it sounds like there's a succession plan to make, his mutant son, ultimately the head coach there. We'll see how that plays out. But as of right now, man, North Carolina, a basketball school, to bring in Belichick, and I know he's old, damn, but this is a dude who's telling you right now, we are a pipeline to the NFL. That's a strong pitch when you're going on the recruiting trail.
Oh, absolutely. And something else, the ACC isn't the strongest conference. So you can do damage in the ACC. It's not the Big Ten or the SEC. So in the ACC, you have one good year, and the recruits are going to come in. And, of course, he's not going to have trouble getting the recruits in anyway.
Right.
But, I think Miami was a flash in the pan this year with Cam Ward. Clemson's always going to be there. But, he can do some real damage in the ACC, in my opinion. I mean, what do you think?
For the people that say Belichick can't relate to kids in their 20s, again, look at his girlfriend.
20-year-old, right.
Look at his girlfriend. He can relate to people in their 20s. Damn right.
That's exactly right.
Let's get down to brass tacks here. You were 6-0 against the spread in the NFL last week. Let's do it again. What are we looking at?
All right. I don't know how much you looked at the schedule yet this week, but the 1 o'clock games are just a bag of shit. and then the 4 o'clock games are just they're crazy good. You've got the Steelers and Eagles, you got the Bills and Lions, you got the Bucks and Chargers.
The Colts and Broncos is a playoff game, really.
That's a playoff game, yeah. Then the 8:30 game, you got the Green Bay, Seattle. Having said the 1 o'clock games are a bag of shit, there is one thing I like in the 1 o'clock games. I'm on the Dolphins Texans over this weekend. It's over 46. Actually, I'm looking at it right now. It's going down to 46.5 on ESPN. Like I said last week about those two teams, there's a lot of talent on both sides of the ball. This is a playoff game for the Dolphins. If they lose, they're done. They've still got a glimmer of hope. There's a lot of talent there. It's going to be in a dome. It's going to be a fast track. And I think this game's going to go over, like I said last weekend, I think it's going to go over pretty easy. So I'm on the Dolphins and the Texans over 46.5.
All right, so if somebody wants to become a client of yours and reap the rewards of your hard work, how do they sign up?
All right, I do all my business on KB Sports on Facebook. I do have a promotion I'm going to be running next Thursday because tonight, by the time people hear the podcast today, they probably won't have time to do it. Next Thursday, December 19th at noon, I'm going to make a post on my Facebook page. You've got the Chargers against the Broncos that night. Post on the Facebook page the winning quarterback and how many yards he'll have. Winner gets free VIP for the rest of the weekend, Friday through Monday.
Okay, so a little contest. So you got to follow KB Sports on Facebook, and you'll know it's the right account because you still have that god-awful Steelers gear on in the profile picture.
You know what? It's a beautiful thing, and they're going for the number 1 seed, baby. Number 1 seed.
All right.
Yeah, it'll be a lot of fun. Like I said, just say if you think Denver's going to win, just say Bo Nix 211 yards or Justin Herbert 230 yards or whatever. Closest to it, we'll get free VIP for the rest of that weekend. Again, it's KB Sports on Facebook.
All right, man. Best of luck to you. Thank you so much, and we'll talk again next week.
All right. Thanks, guys. Have a good one.
All right, let's talk about kind of a de facto playoff game this weekend. Not the sexiest game on the board, but Colts at the Broncos. Broncos are a 3.5-point home favorite, over under 44, and I see those numbers on FanDuel. So honestly, I thought this bye came at a bad time for Denver because they'd won 3 in a row. Bo Nix was playing well, and then the bye came. I feel like this was the worst time for the Broncos to have a bye. Meanwhile, the Colts, also coming off a bye, this was the best thing in the world because it allowed Josh Downs to get healthy. He's been practicing this week. Looks like he's going to be good to go for the Colts on Sunday. Gives Anthony Richardson some more time to work on some mechanics, study some more film. I just think this is too many points here. Like, I'm now seeing it at 4. Okay, 4. 4 at Bet Rivers. Colts at Broncos. The number is 4. That is too many points. I think these teams are kind of similar here, Rob. I don't love either quarterback. Denver's defense is not great. Indianapolis' secondary is not great. But up front, they're not bad. And I think you're going to see DeForest Buckner and company get after Bo Nix a little bit. Broncos may win this game, but I feel like this is one of those 27-24s, 24-20 type of games. 24-20 is a push. That's not the end of the world. But 27-24, your toes are tapping. Anthony Richardson gets out of the pocket. I think the Colts can run on Denver. I think it's somewhat of a close game. 4 points is an awful lot. Coming off of a bye, I will take the Indianapolis Colts getting 4 points. Ladies and gentlemen, cue up the band, Jim Irsay.
Well, I say we end with this, and you guys can follow me.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Hold on.
We will.
Yeah.
We will rock you.
We're taking those 4 points.
We will rock you.
My favorite is the random hold on. Because, again, Jim Irsay, as much as he's into music, right? He's got a band, and he goes on the road, and he buys all this memorabilia. Apparently, he's the only guy in America that can't get the boom, boom, clap right for We Will Rock You. Hold on! Boom, boom. So good. Yeah, I like the Colts getting 4 points in this one. Broncos may win. I think the Colts hang around.
All right, Hammer, I'm going to play this game too, and for my pick, I'm going to need a little mood music to accompany the segment.
Uh-oh. Is it time to play Who's Going to Screw Me this week?
America's fastest growing game show, and it seems to happen every single week on this program. And this week, Hammer, would you like to know who's going to be screwing me?
Please.
Their names are Jason Allen Hammer.
Oh, come on.
Scott Long.
What?
David Stepanoff. And Kenny Britt. Because I had a play on this game, and I asked you 4 upstanding citizens, and every one of you said, you're wrong.
So you're going against your own research.
That's right.
Your own gut, and you're going with the group text thread.
Now, I did this a couple weeks ago, and I lost.
So why are you doing it again?
Because I'm an idiot. That's why I'm doing it again. And I have no confidence in myself. That's why I'm doing it. Peer pressure. That's the name of the game. I was in on the Broncos giving 3.5. I found it at 3.5 on DraftKings. Here, let me give you my reasons I was in on the Broncos. I thought you guys made a good case, though. The Colts are impossible to bet. You never know if you're going to get good Richardson or bad Richardson. But 4 is a lot, right?
Right.
4 is a lot.
4 is kind of one of those numbers where it's more than a field goal, right? But chances are they're going to need a touchdown to beat you to cover.
That's right. Okay, so here was what I had written for the Broncos giving 3.5 against the Colts. Broncos can create turnovers versus unreliable quarterbacks. We saw that 2 weeks ago with the Browns. I would qualify Anthony Richardson as an unreliable quarterback. Colts have a point differential of minus 5.3 in their last 3 games, minus 2 in their last 3 road games. And both of those include the collapse by the Patriots last week. The Broncos are averaging 36 points in their last 3. The Colts are allowing 25. If they allow 25, Broncos giving up 21 beats you. Also, Bo Nix has thrown 12 touchdowns to 3 picks in his last 3 games. Colts have failed to cover in 4 of their last 5. I had all this data to tell me why the Broncos are going to win, but I feel like you made a better case.
So if you win, I get half your money. That's the way this should work. If you win, I get half your money. Because if you're going to blame us for the loss, like you've clearly done, the last group thread, you really melted down and acted like a little crybaby bitch. If that's going to be the case how it is moving forward, then if you're going to solely go on the group, you either pay us or we'll pay you.
Oh, you want $1.50? That's what you want. You're in for $1.50. Oh, okay.
So who are you taking?
I'm taking the Colts getting the 4, mainly because I don't want you to have anything over me.
The Degenerates next door are taking a little break. We're coming right back. Back on the Degenerates next door, presented by StatFactory.io. Log on right now. Get all the data, all the statistics. It's a free trial. And if you use that promo code DEGENERATES, the already cheap monthly subscription becomes even cheaper. All right, speaking of cheap, let's go to Rob Kendall.
Hey!
The Buccaneers at the Chargers. The Chargers, 2.5-point home favorite, over under 45.
All right, so I found the Chargers minus 2.5 on DraftKings. This is another one where you're getting your money for that StatFactory.io monthly subscription just by finding that. I mean, it was 3 a lot of places, so if you can shop around, and it's how many times does the hook cost you, Hammer?
Last week.
Yeah.
Hook beat me last week in the Carolina Panthers game because the kicker missed an extra point.
Yeah, that's bad. All right, so can Jim Harbaugh outsmart Baker Mayfield? That's what this game comes down to, and I think he can do it. Statistically, Tampa Bay has outperformed the Chargers the last few weeks, but Tampa Bay's secondary has been decimated. I think Herbert can make some throws, and the Chargers' defense is really good, 9th best at DVOA. Hammer, I know what you're thinking. What is DVOA?
You down with DVOA?
Defense value over average in the NFL, so I'll take the Chargers laying the 2.5.
You want to talk defense? How about Steelers and the Eagles? Steelers at the Eagles. The line is 5.
The Eagles?
Philadelphia, a 5-point home favorite. Over under is 42.5. Now, normally, it's free money when Mike Tomlin is a dog. And he's catching 5 here, right? Mike Tomlin on the road as a dog is usually an ATM. But I do not love the spot for the Steelers here. So they're coming off this divisional gauntlet, and they're playing a non-conference road game
That's
here.
right.
So let's just kind of look at the total. I don't like the number. Let's look at the total. 42.5. Each of the Steelers' last 5 road games gone over the total. Russell Wilson playing pretty good ball. Granted, against some pretty bad defenses. Cleveland twice in that little run that he's been on. But still, the total is so low here at 42.5. I don't need Russell Wilson to be great. I don't need Super Bowl Russell Wilson. I just need him to be decent. Russell Wilson, 4-0 all-time in Philadelphia. 27-17 feels right. But worst case scenario, let's say that it's close and it's low scoring, 23-20. That's a winner, too. The line is just 42.5. Smokey from Friday, what do you think about that number?
Wait a minute. What's this? This ain't enough.
This ain't enough. We're going to ride the lightning, Rob. We're going over 42.5. The Steelers at the Eagles. So much better than the Eagles.
I feel so much better now. I was going to bet that game, and I thought the same thing. I thought Tomlin is a cash machine on the road. But then I thought, if I bet on him, he won't be.
You're the ultimate buzzkill. How about the Cowboys at the Carolina Panthers? Panthers fresh off screwing me last week on a team total because they missed an extra point. Panthers laying 3. They're a home favorite over under 43.5.
They're laying 3 most places, Mr. Hammer.
Uh-oh.
You know where they aren't laying 3 as of this podcast? FanDuel.
Ho-ho!
Minus 2.5. And you know how I found that? StatFactory.io. StatFactory.io. See again, your subscription paying dividends right there. All right, here's the deal, Fat. Panthers haven't been a favorite in almost 2 years. And they're not good. To quote Chevy Chase to Rodney Dangerfield in Caddyshack, you're not good. You stink. You're not good. But the Cowboys look dead in that game at home against the Bengals. This could be our Let's Get Nuts segment because I can't believe I'm riding with Bryce Young. But you want to get nuts? Let's get nuts with the Panthers laying 2.5.
Bryce Young has not been bad the last month.
No.
He has not been bad. All right. I've got a good team. I got a bad team here.
Is that like an old priest and a young priest?
It's like a setup to an old bar joke, isn't it? The Ravens are at the Giants. Have you seen the number? The Ravens are 16 points.
Yes.
Road favorites at the Giants. The total is 42.5. Now you're probably asking yourself, why is that number so high? Well, let's look at the Giants. What more can you say about the Giants other than they are god-awful? When you look at that Giants offense, what comes to mind?
Oh, that was the grossest thing I've ever heard in my life.
They're gross.
Yeah, they're bad.
They're gross. Danny Dimes, no longer on the roster. They cut him. He's in Minnesota. So then, next man up, Drew Lock, injured, will not play. So taking the snaps against what many feel is one of the 3 best teams in the league, Tommy DeVito.
Yeah!
Oh, Tommy DeVito is back. Oh, Christopher Moltisanti, Sonny Corleone is back. Now, I'm going to hate myself for this. This is one of those bets where I feel like I owe it to myself to get to the window on and pull the trigger, but I hate myself for doing it. The Giants team total in this game is 13.5. That's not a quarter. That's not a half. That's a full game team total. We're going over, Rob.
Oh, no. Oh, no.
We're going over because even if Tommy DeVito stinks to high heaven, and there's a very good chance that's the case, one big play on special teams, a couple big plays on defense, anything to get you in field position, you should be able to cash this. If I can get one offensive touchdown, one drive from old Sonny Corleone Jr., I feel like we're going to be okay because the Ravens are going to win this game. It's going to be ugly. I don't know if it's going to be 16, but it's going to be a big number. Garbage time in the fourth quarter. Will the Giants keep their starters in against the Ravens backups? Anything can happen. This low of a total, I've got to play it. I have got to play the over 13.5.
Well, last week they got 11. You know how I know that? Because it was a 14-11 defeat against the Saints, and I had the Saints giving 3.5. So they got 11
good.
last week.
By the way, we've called Tommy DeVito Sonny Corleone. James Caan played the role of Sonny Corleone.
Yeah.
Did I tell you my James Caan story?
No.
So I got 2. One, my wife actually met him when she went to Hawaii on a trip in school.
No.
Like her high school band went to Hawaii, and I think that's when he was filming like that movie with Nicolas Cage, Honeymoon in Vegas or whatever. So he was out there, said he was super nice. But then on my radio show, this was shortly after James Caan passed away. The guy that played Carlo Rizzi in Godfather, his real name is Gianni Russo.
One of the great missed punches in cinematic history. What a whip.
But he told us, though, that James Caan actually broke his ribs in that fight, and that Caan was actually really fighting him at some parts. And, like, because they had gotten into it off the set before, because at this point, James Caan was a pretty big star, right? He's not Marlon Brando, but he's a pretty big star at this point. But they filmed this area where the famous fight took place, where the fire hydrant, goes off and the street brawl.
The whiff.
After Carlo is beating up Sonny's sister. And I guess they filmed that area in Russo's hometown. So everybody there knew him. So they came to watch him, and it pissed off James Caan. So when they had the fight scene, he took it personal and was really trying to, like, rough him up at spots. But to his credit, the big swing and a miss, the big whiff, that took place. But only because he actually missed. I think, according to what Gianni told us, had he actually, done it a little bit better, he had no problem with connecting that punch.
Okay, here's the thing, though. It's arguably the greatest movie of all time. And I get that you had one shot to get that scene right because of the water, etc. But wouldn't you shoot it from enough camera angles that there wouldn't be a blatant miss? Wouldn't somebody in the editing be like, there's a blatant miss there. Well, maybe we ought to shoot that a little different.
Caan broke his ribs, though. Like, actually broke his ribs. He was hitting him that hard because he was pissed off that the people that were the extras and were watching were his friends from the neighborhood, and he had to remind him who the real star was. Great moments in red-ass history. All right, take a little break here. When we come back, I think the game of the week is the Bills and Lions. I've got action for that. Plus, Rob Kendall, the king of the $1 bet.
That's right.
$2 bet, and Mr. Monday Night. He will give you all of his plays. Don't go anywhere. We are the Degenerates Next Door. Back on the Degenerates Next Door, brought to you by StatFactory.io. All right, game of the weekend, Bills at the Lions. Could be Super Bowl matchup. Right now, Lions, 3-point home favorites. The over-under, it's a big one, 54. Let's be honest, these teams are pretty even, right? And Josh Allen, I think, is the best player on the field. And he's motivated this week, too. Because despite them putting on an offensive show last week, they lost to the Rams. So what do we do if all things are equal and the better quarterback, which I think is Josh Allen, is getting points here? We hitch our wagon. That's what we do. This is a big opportunity for the Bills. This is a chance for a bounce-back statement road win, and it also keeps them in the home field advantage conversation in the AFC. And when you look at this Lions defense, eventually you would think the injuries would catch up at some point. So I am happy to grab 3 points with the underdog and the better quarterback here. And looking at some Stat Factory numbers, the last 3 games on the road, the Bills have averaged nearly the same amount of touchdowns on the road as the Lions have scored in their 3 home games. It's 12-14, pretty close. So Josh Allen traveling on the road is putting up the same amount of touchdowns, give or take a couple. The Lions are scoring at home. Better quarterback, getting points. Give me the Bills, plus 2.5, and don't be afraid to sprinkle that money line just a little bit. All right, let's get down to it. Making his way to the microphone, Mr. Monday Night. Now, Mr. Monday Night, you have 2 options for this week. Falcons and the Raiders, or the Bears and the Vikings. 2 Monday night games this week. Which one?
Oh, I'm a crap all over the Bears. How about that?
Bears at the Vikings. That line is 6.5. You might find it at 7. Over under 43.5.
Yeah, minus 6.5 found on DraftKings. Bears are allowing 30.3 points in their last 3 games. They're scoring 20. That's a minus 10-point differential. Bears are allowing 30 points a game in their last 3 on the road. They're scoring 14. That's minus 16. The Bears have failed to cover in 4 of their last 5 as an underdog against NFC opponents. The Bears are 1-4-1 against the spread on the road. The Vikings have only allowed 18.7 points in their last 3 home games. If the Bears could get to 17, which would be a stretch, 24 gets it for the Vikings. Justin Jefferson might get that all by himself. The Bears suck. The Bears suck. The Bears suck.
Say it again.
Oh, the Bears suck. I'll take the Vikings laying the 6.5.
All right, so Rob, Mr. Monday Night, in on the Vikings. Now, if playing the games against the spread is not your thing, if that's not your cup of joe, how about you hop in the old family truckster with me and we make a little drive down to the prop shop.
I take you to the
prop
shop. I let you lick the lollipop. Go ahead, girl, don't you stop. Keep on going till you hit the
prop.
So we gave you 2 already for Thursday Night Football tonight. Brock Purdy over 29.5 passing attempts, not completions, just attempts. Puka Nacua, anytime touchdown,
Who?
plus 110.
Who?
Plus money on Puka Nacua. Other props we like this weekend. Cortland Sutton, over 70.5 receiving yards against the Colts. I do not like the Colts secondary. Bo Nix is going to throw the ball. Cortland Sutton, over 70.5 receiving yards. Josh Allen, over 36.5 rushing yards for the Buffalo Bills. 3 of the last 4 games, Josh Allen has ran for at least 50. We just need 36.5. And Rico Dowdle for the Dallas Cowboys, over 17.5 attempts. Listen, if you're the Dallas Cowboys and you don't try to run the ball at Carolina, fire everyone on the scene. Panthers can't stop the run. They haven't all year. And Rico Dowdle, doing pretty well, man. He's filling in. He's getting his groove, and I think he gets a lot of carries. 17.5 attempts. We're going to ride the over. Now, if you are a cheap bastard, like the representative of Brownsburg, Indiana,
yes,
the former elected official in the state of Indiana, Rob Kendall, and you like to play with a little bit of a budget, we got you. Ladies and gentlemen, here to teach you how to ball on a budget is the cheapest man alive, Rob Kendall.
This happens to be a $100 minimum bet table. Perhaps you'd be more comfortable at one of our lower stakes tables.
Oh! All right, you cheapskates. It's time for Rob Kendall's Ballin' on a Budget.
Very tight with $1.
Nobody is tighter with the dollar than Rob Kendall, so let's turn that dollar into something a little more.
Yeah, here we go. We hit Ballin' on a Budget, by the way, last week. We've been on fire lately with Ballin' on a Budget.
You've won a whole $5.
Stop. Not wrong. All right. The Ravens, as you mentioned, they've got that massive spread against the Giants. I'm not touching that. But what I am willing to do is buy it down to 6.5. That's a touchdown, gets you a cover. You can buy it down to 6.5 versus the Giants to minus 440. Cardinals, money line versus the Patriots, minus 290. Eagles, money line, minus 250 versus the Steelers. And Commanders, money line, minus 370 at the Saints. So you got Ravens, buy down to 6.5 over the Giants. Cardinals money line against the Patriots, Eagles money line against the Steelers, Commanders money line at the Saints. Put them all together, it's plus 193, which means a $10 bet would pay you $19.35.
And you get action on a lot of games.
That's right. A lot of entertainment for not a lot of investment.
All right, let's recap the plays here. I am on the 49ers tonight, minus 2.5. I'll take the Colts getting 4. Steelers, Eagles over 42.5. Giants team total. Just hold your nose, make the bet, and let's never speak of this again. We're going over 13.5. And the Buffalo Bills, I'll take the points, plus 2.5. Sprinkle that money line. And if you want the props, just go back about 5 minutes and we laid them all out. Rob.
Vikings, minus 6.5 at home against the Bears. The group talked me out of it. Who's screwing me this week? It's the group, the Degenerates Next Door group. I got the Colts getting 4 against the Broncos. Seahawks getting 3 against the Packers. Chargers laying 2.5 against Tampa Bay. And I can't believe I'm doing this. Panthers minus 2.5 against the Cowboys.
That is Rob Kendall for Kenny Britt of KB Sports and all of our friends at StatFactory.io. Sign up for a StatFactory.io membership today. Use that promo code DEGENERATES. It's already cheap, but that promo code makes it even cheaper. It's awesome. My name is Jason Hammer. We will talk to you next Tuesday when we give you our official plays for the college football playoff. Good luck in the NFL this weekend, everybody. And as always, may the odds be ever in your favor.